Ladies and gents, welcome back. If you like the internet, well, get ready to fight for it because, well, the internet as we know it here in Canada is about to change drastically if nothing is done to stop Bill C11. Bill C11 will basically turn all of the internet into CBC Television's website, and you'll get to see only what the Canadian government really wants to push and shove down your throat. Hey, do you like this top lineup? Utopia Falls, Victoria. Hey, look at this fantastic lineup of probably stuff you don't care about or want to view, but that nonetheless is what the Canadian government believes that you should be watching. And that's essentially what Bill C11 is being put in place to do. It's to tell you what you should view. And what you should be viewing is, well, Canadian media. If you like the way YouTube, for example, as a website lays out different things from all over the world, from based on the algorithms and what you've been watching, and check it out. Hey, look at this. There's other stuff that we think that you might like. Well, they won't be allowed to do that anymore. What'll happen is the CRTC, regulatory body, will jump in and say, nuh-uh, that's not Canadian enough. And well, how do you say for me as a Canadian creator, how would I become Canadian content? Well, I would have to invite the CRTC into my living room, into my garage, and say, hey, scrutinize everything that I have, even down to the floorboards. Are they Canadian enough? Canadian enough for the Canadian broadcast regulatory body. And that's essentially what's going on here. Now, Andrew Scheer has put out another video recently saying, well, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous to the point where the Liberals have shut down even the debate on talking about this in Parliament. They want to go right to a vote because they want to ram this through because Bill C10 failed, and they don't want this one to fail and have to come back as Bill C12, which they will anyway, but this is why we have to keep fighting. But I'll show you what Andrew Scheer had to say here.
You won't believe what the Liberals just did. They just introduced a motion in the House of Commons to cut off debate on Bill C11. That's right, they are stifling speeches on a bill that's attacking free speech. Only Justin Trudeau and the Liberals could make an assault on our rights and freedoms that much worse by taking away parliamentarians' ability to debate and discuss this piece of legislation. This is an unprecedented expansion of the power of the government into the internet, giving the CRTC the power to make regulations about what Canadians can post and how social media platforms operate. Right in the middle of the conversation, right as we're hearing from witnesses about how this will impact Canadians' rights and freedoms, the Liberals cut off that debate. This is such an important issue. I did a video on this last week. I hope you had a chance to watch it. If you haven't, feel free to check it out. The link is in the description. It's really time for Canadians to get engaged in this. If you haven't yet, let your member of parliament know that you're opposed to Bill C11, that you're opposed to the government having this kind of power to regulate social media, to regulate the internet, to control what types of posts are allowed to be shown in your social media streams. If any of that is bothering or concerning to you, please take the time, find out who your member of parliament is, send them a note, let them know that you will not vote for politicians who vote against your fundamental rights and freedoms.
Yeas pour 174, 174. Nays contre 146, 146.
Je déclare la motion adoptée.
I declare the motion carried.
They carried the motion.
The honour member for Perth Welling. Oh, sorry.
Debate.
Orders of the day. Ordre du jour.
So that was here. The motion to end debate on C11 was passed, 174 to 146. So obviously the Trudy McJuggernuggets party voted along party lines to make sure that they passed this. Now, if anyone in your riding voted for this, I'd suggest vote them the heck out of government. Get them out of there. Now, this is a broad thing that's going to change the internet fundamentally for Canadians as a whole. Essentially, you're going to need to, it's going to be like Chinese internet, where there's going to be a great Chinese firewall over the internet, And the only way to get around it, well, we'll discuss that in a minute. But essentially, if you like, say, for example, Comedy Central, right, as it stands right now, Comedy Central is governed by the CRTC, right? So because there's a Canadian version, I can't even remember what it's called, Comedy Network or something, nobody watches, basically, where you can get these programs through the CRTC regulated entity. Because of that, sorry, this video is not available in your location. And this is what is going to happen to a lot of the internet and a lot of the things that you like to watch on the regular. You're going to have to watch the Canadian content version of it, where that's it. You're stuck. You're stuck. At least in this sense, you go to the Canadian website, you can't watch it because you have to get a cable subscription. And that's how they do it. They try to sell cable subscriptions. Now, what are most Canadians doing in this sense? Well, most people around the world, when they are stuck in a situation where they can't go because governments are terrible and they don't allow their citizenry to take to the internet, well, they use a VPN. And what is a VPN? A VPN is a virtual private network where you can trick the internet into thinking that you're in another part of the world. And people in China have been doing this until the Chinese government made it illegal. And now in China, you're not able to. You will be thrown in jail if you're caught using a VPN. That's how strict it is in China. And we all know the parallels between the Chinese government and, well, Trudeau and his love for the basic dictatorship, as he told the world, as he wanted everyone to know. So there's a website you can go to. I'll leave a link in the description down below. If you don't want to put all this information together and send it to your local representative, you can go to this website. And what they ask you here is, are you a content creator? Are you a concerned Canadian citizen? Am I a concerned global citizen? Click one of these links. It'll take you to a predetermined email that you can go over, and you can put in your postal code. And from your postal code, you can, come on, phone, do your thing. From there, you can put in your postal code, and it'll give you your representative and an ability to send a message to them to express that you don't want this bill passed. We are not there yet. It's not passed. It'll have to pass in the House of Parliament and then in the Senate. But this is where we're at with this. So I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can click on that. And hopefully enough people do this. I know a lot of people are already doing this. That link has been put out by a lot of people, a lot of members of the YouTube community. You would be surprised how many of your favorite YouTubers are Canadians. And interestingly enough, I do Canadian politics, and I'm not like, that's why a lot of people just know that I'm Canadian. Most people don't realize, actually, I saw a bunch of YouTubers that I had no idea were Canadian that I watch talking about this and expressing how important it is that this type of internet censorship does not occur in the free world. We're supposed to be a free country, and this is not looking that way. Now, we may end up having to go the route of VPNs. A lot of Canadian content creators are talking about jumping ship, leaving the country even digitally, moving their businesses elsewhere so that they can be seen elsewhere. But that's not going to help the Canadian viewer. It may help the Canadian content creator, but the Canadian viewer is going to be screwed. Totally screwed out of watching any content that they want to watch. It's going to be all government propaganda down your throat. You deal with it, and that's the way it is. Now, tonight, on a similar note, I'm going to be on the Brando on the Go channel. He's doing a special podcast tonight. He normally does them at different times, but we're going to be talking about media censorship, and especially here in Canada. So this is going to be an independent media being shadow banned. Well, I'm sure Bill C11 is going to come up in this, and I think everyone should pay attention. So I'll leave a link for Brando on the Go's channel in the description down below. Go subscribe there, and you can view us tonight. I believe it's going to be at 6 Pacific time. That's half an hour early from mine. I usually stream on Fridays, but this is on Wednesday. So check that out this evening and tune in. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have some good chats about that. Anyway, that's all I got for you right now on this topic. And please click the link in the description down below. Send a letter to your representative. Tell them that you don't support this. This is just astonishing. It's the communist revolution of the internet in Canada. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next one. Keep on trucking.